Drunk.
Drunk.
Drunk. Drunk. Drunk. Drunk. Drunk. Drunk. Drunk.
Hammered drunk.
Drunk. Drunk.
Drunk.
Drunk. Drunk.
Drunk trade of the week.
Dustin, I got to say, I'm thrilled to talk about this one, mostly because of all of this context. This is unlike any trade format that we've dealt with in the past. So this one comes from @BearSuitJoel on Twitter. This is a 12-team PPR dynasty league. There are yardage premiums involved. He didn't specify exactly what those premiums were, but you get the general sense of what that means. It's also a salary cap league. Nice. Not only is it a salary cap league, it is an IDP league. Ooh. Not only is it a salary cap IDP league, it is a head coach league. You have to choose a head coach as well. I didn't ask too many questions to BearSuitJoel, but if I could ask unlimited questions, I would say, what in the fuck do you do with a head coach? How does that even work into the scoring?
I've heard of it before, and like some of the other podcasts I listen to, it'll like get brought up like just briefly, and I've always wondered what that is.
I want to know.
I want to know too,
but I don't know enough, or I don't want to know enough to Google. Apparently, that's my line with this. I want to know, but not enough to punch that into the old Google machine. But anyways, with all that formatting, here's the deal: you start one quarterback, one running back. That's important. Only one running back, 2 wide receivers, a tight end, and 2 flex. It's a little bit condensed on the offensive side, I'm guessing because of the IDP and all that involved. But the offer is this. They sent away an offer to get Travis Etienne. They would be giving up DK Metcalf and Calvin Ridley. They say, I'm weak at running back. The only other running backs that they have are Dameon Pierce and Rachaad White, stacked everywhere else. And Etienne is $1 against the $90 cap. So every player would have a certain cap designation, like real contracts work in the NFL. This is about as close to a real NFL type of fantasy league I think you're going to find, which is pretty neat. But there's a lot involved here. By the way, there were 4 IPAs deep when they made this offer. Got to get that in there. 4 IPAs deep. Mr. Scampers also wants to know in the chat, by the way, what's the backstory of the name BearSuitJoel? I don't know, Scampers. Add that onto the list of questions that I want to ask this person. No, Dustin, we've said a lot. I've said a lot, too much, arguably. What do you think about the league in general? Let's not even talk about the trade just yet. What about this league in general? Are you interested in something like this?
I am. And so I was doing a little Googling while you were talking here. So this one article I found, I'm sure there's many different ways to do this. It says currently proposed scoring breakdown would be +2 for win, -2 for loss, -1 for tie, and then +1, -1 for each 5 points of margin of victory or loss.
Ooh,
so basically, you're just getting additional points based on the head coach you choose that week.
Sure. Oh, and that's for that version. Maybe it's per week, or maybe in this version with Dynasty, you got to, again, draft a coach to stick with them, which could get very interesting, very fast, because turnover is quite something. I'm really interested in something like this. It would be intimidating as all hell. I need to take one of these things on individually first. I did an IDP once upon a time. I probably won't do one again. I would be interested in the salary cap aspect of this greatly. But anyways, with all that said, Travis Etienne, who we love on this podcast, obviously, versus DK Metcalf and Calvin Ridley. I don't know what the cap is for DK and Calvin to that extent, but it seems largely more than Etienne. It seems like a big deal that Etienne is only $1. All of this said...
It's because he's on his rookie contract. So one thing I do know about contract leagues or salary cap leagues is that rookies that are, or players that are on their rookie contract have very low salaries, as like the NFL. And then once they're off their rookie contract, they get signed or, extended, then their cap hit goes up accordingly based on whatever their actual contract is. So this is all based on like real contracts.
You're so wise.
Yeah. I do know that much at least.
So Calvin Ridley poses an interesting thing then at that, with his now signing with Jacksonville. That throws maybe an interesting wrinkle into this. But I mean, Travis Etienne, if we strip away everything else, Travis Etienne for DK Metcalf and Calvin Ridley, it seems like I would lean still on the Metcalf Ridley side of things, typically in a typical dynasty league. Would you agree with that?
Yes, absolutely. But seeing how this is a salary cap league,
Yep.
you're gaining all that salary cap that you can use on incoming rookies in your rookie draft or free agents out on the waiver wire or other trades you can make. All that goes into account there. So, and especially since he says he's stacked everywhere else. I mean, if he's giving up DK and Calvin Ridley and he still says he's stacked, like he's got to have some good wide receivers there yet. So,
yeah, let me give you his list of other receivers, just so you know. Right. He gave me some context. It was a little bit too much to fit into the slide here.
No, I love that.
Would still have Cooper Kupp, Stephon Diggs, Deebo Samuel, Hollywood Brown, Chris Olave, and Rashad Bateman at least. So yeah.
Smash. Oh yeah, I would smash that. Yeah. Getting all that cap space back. And again, I shouldn't say again, but you need that cap space because if your existing players get contract extensions or they, whatever, that's going to affect your roster makeup and you may have to end up cutting them or trading them to be able to be under your salary cap. So having that extra space while still having all those studs, yeah, go for it.
And you figure $1 a piece, I guess, for Dameon Pierce and Rashad White as well in this format.
Yeah.
But you're super cheap at running back, the way it ought to be for an NFL team, right? You just go as cheap as possible, as young as possible, and hope for the best, and then go into the pool with wide receivers. This must be what real GMs feel like in a league like this. I wonder how many trades get done in the real NFL after 4 IPAs, Dustin. I don't know.
Probably not nearly enough.
There should be more. That's what
there should be.
For. I love this trade. I love everything about it. Very unique. So thank you very much, Bear Suit Joel.